come to them and say, how do you guys feel about the situation? Does that say a little bit of something about Coach Dooley that he would talk to some of the guys on the team and ask them about that situation since he missed so much, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, this is we're a family, and he doesn't make decisions without talking to the family. I mean, family don't go buy a house without talking to everybody about it. So he definitely wants to make sure, because he don't want to mess up. He knows how close we are as a team and the chemistry we built throughout this offseason. He don't want to bring someone in that we feel like is going to mess up that chemistry. So I think that's why he was looking into checking with us.
Could somebody go through a spring and a summer and miss everything that Vinny's been doing with you guys and then be ready for SEC play? Not just Bryce, but anybody. I mean, could you miss all that and then be ready to go on September 4th?
I mean, you can go, but you're not going to be where we're at. We've been through a lot, and I don't know what Bryce has been doing back home as far as staying in shape and stuff. But he comes back, he's going to be a little behind.
It seems like Vinny does some unusual stuff with you guys, shopping carts, whatever. I mean, what's his program like? What's some of the more unusual things you've done? I saw you guys playing soccer too last week.
Yeah, on Saturdays we go and play soccer. It's just a little extra conditioning work, and it's fun. You get out there and you play for 45 minutes, and you're just dead tired, soaking wet with sweat. Probably the most unusual thing, the coolest thing, probably the hardest thing we've done. There's a street downtown Knoxville called Locust Street. It's about a mile. You got to run from the complex, jog down there. It's a mile, and then you run 10, 12 sprints up this hill. And I don't know how long it is. Probably an eighth of a mile or a quarter of a mile, something like that. So that was probably the hardest thing we've done all summer.
Do you have a feel yet for how much the offense is going to change? How much of it was Jim Chaney's last year, and how much is going to be Jim Chaney's this year?
Well, the offense was very similar to Coach Chaney's. I mean, very little has changed. The play calling is where you might see the difference. I mean, everybody's offensive playbook's this thick, but they might use this much of it on Saturday. So It depends on what percentage of that playbook he decides to use is probably where you'll see the difference.
Okay.
Where do you see the quarterback situation right now? That's a big question.
I think both quarterbacks have done a great job this summer at just competing and learning that system and getting chemistry with receivers and tight ends and that type of stuff. I think they both have a tremendous upside, and I think it's going to go right down the wire, and I think it's going to be fun to watch this camp.
Any time where you sort of, even though you're not a quarterback, we're taking aside because it's a different game plan in this week. I mean, it's one of those things where it's exciting, interesting to find out what's going to happen, or is it a combination of anxiety to see how they react, whatever it is?
Oh, I'm sure whoever gets the job will be fine. I got complete confidence in either one of them. And there's times you take them aside, you don't say, hey man, we're in the SEC, you can't do that. You're like, hey, you know what? On this, you got to look for me like half a second earlier, because if you wait that long, you got these freak athletes. They're gonna pick that off, or they're gonna deflect it. The ball's gonna get through, whatever. So it's just little stuff like that you talk to them about.
Florida's really had a hold on you guys' division. I mean, realistically, do you look at that as in range? Do you think you guys are close enough that you could maybe supplant them this year?
No, absolutely. I mean, you look at both teams have a ton of new faces coming in.
Yeah.
So it's. In our case, I can speak for ourselves right now. It's a matter of having guys step up and fill shoes that need to be filled. So that's going to be the key for us in success this year.
Does the game you played against them last year indicate to you that you're close to them at all, or has so much changed that's irrelevant at this point?
I think so much changed. It's irrelevant. We got new defensive system in. They got a bunch of new players. We got a bunch of new players. So.
How do you manage the dynamic of leadership when you have upperclassmen like yourself who are natural leaders, and then you have young quarterbacks whose position is a leadership position, but they're young and new to the system?
Well, believe it or not, I think both our quarterbacks have tremendous natural leadership ability, which is a great trait for a quarterback to have because of the position they're in, like you just talked about. Like you said, Tyler's very young. I think he's kind of like testing the waters a little bit about what he can do as a leader to actually, people to respect him. So, and Matt's very mature, and he really doesn't care. I mean, if he's got something to say, he's going to say it. And I think that's what needs to be done. And I think Matt is very mature emotionally and mentally. So,
Do you ever have to step in and say, you maybe don't have that call right or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are learning the system, and they're getting the hang of it, just like a lot of guys are. And I was lucky enough to be a part of it last year, and kind of have an understanding of what Coach Chaney's concepts are. And he was my position coach last year, so I really know what page he's on and what he wants out of stuff. So I help him out whenever I can.
Okay. Thanks,
Coach,
Luke.